Hello and welcome back to the Owner Meeting Podcast by Multifamily Strategy. I'm Christian, your channel host. Today joined with Ethan and Eddie. What these guys have done independent of Multifamily Strategy or anyone else has been ridiculous to watch. It's been so fun to watch you guys take off. I brought this up on the podcast before, but I still, when I think of hard work, I think of you guys hand digging that trench outside your one building. I don't know if people realize how athletically difficult that is, but they built, how deep was that trench?
3 feet, 4 feet.
Yeah, 4 feet.
It was huge. How long did that take to dig by hand?
That took a long time.
Like a day and a half.
These guys do what it takes to make the deals happen. I want to talk about what you guys have done with business. Most importantly, I think what everyone wants out of this podcast. So what I can guarantee you will get if you were listening to this episode is these two young guys, what it actually takes to build a significant portfolio from scratch. Ethan, you had a single family rental when we met, right?
That's right.
Eddie, had you even started your business yet at that point, your airport business, or was that birthed in COVID? I can't remember.
It was birthed in COVID. Yeah. So a little bit before when we started investing in real estate, 2020.
Okay. What was your starting point when you and Ethan first partnered up? Where were you at?
I was flipping couches. And then we were both flipping couches, sold over 200 couches along with the money from the sanitizing / cleaning business in the airport. Kind of joined those two along with, and then the multifamily mentorship kind of like taught us what we need to know as far as like multifamily goes to kind of combine the two so that we could, join forces and get going.
So what makes more money, flipping a house or flipping a couch?
Well, it depends. We hit some couches, and we also, we almost broke even on the first house. We made like $9,000. But yeah, typically houses.
Okay, good.
It depends. Yes, houses make more money. That being said, like couches, you don't have a lot of money tied up, right? So you can put money in, take money out quickly. And that's how you like build, right? To get into stuff where you can put money in, more chunks of it in, and then get a greater return. That's how we've seen it. Christian, maybe you can speak. It sounds like you have the same experience, but yeah.
Never flipped a couch, but I've done about every job that one can do. I've gone from screen printing from $11.50 an hour to selling the T-shirts that we used to print on. I have done just about every job that you can do. I haven't sold money yet, though. I've never been a lender. It's the only thing I haven't sold money yet. But pretty much anything else, data, tech, apparel, sold it all. So I've done some projects. I'm actually curious about this. So you guys now know the answer to this because I saw Cardone ask you this question. So I'll ask it to you now that you're prepared. What is the difference between a couch and a sofa?
It's the same thing.
I still agree with you guys. I still agree.
It was
like, no, a sofa's fancier. It's more expensive.
But you know what? I think they got that backwards, to be completely honest. I think a sofa sounds outdated.
I do too. I think sofa, I don't know why, but I think gold, floral, in your grandma's house, loves it.
Right, agree.
You know what the proper marketing, the proper word is?
You said it on the sectional.
That's right.
There we go. It's sectional.
And sectional sell the best too. But yeah, that was a trick question. We answered it correctly. We stand firm by that.
It's like they say, sectional sells.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
That is so you guys ran that business. You did like 200 couches. How long were you guys doing the couch flipping?
2 years.
2 years. Okay. So 2 years, you're entering into real estate. You did some crazy fun deals, and you've done some hard deals. You've done some deals that have gone pretty well. Let's actually, you know what? We're gonna tease the multifamily deal. We're about to get there. I want to talk about these single family flips. I got to drive out and see one of your single family flips once. So I've actually seen that house, and that one went pretty well, right? The one that I saw, that was a very successful flip, if I remember. Yeah, talk about the flipping business. So you go from couch flipping to flipping houses. More risk, more reward. How did the first deal go?
Just going back a little bit, it was like we were working on 9 to 5s, right? And we would always call each other every single afternoon, like, hey, like, this is not for us, not being in a cubicle, not, working from an office. It just like, it was driving us crazy. So, Like, we were like, we got to get out of it. But we were working our jobs. Then after work, we would do couch flipping. And after that, we would clean floors in the airport. So we were doing that for 2 years. 2 years of, working nonstop to try to make that active income.
Mm.
Once we made that active income, then we could like get our foot in the door into like bigger deals such as flipping houses. So the first deal we did, we got it from wholesaler. Not, it was New Western. It wasn't no. That wasn't the first deal. That was the first deal we were looking at. And there was a whole thing with we were going to close the next day and then the seller went to jail. So we couldn't we couldn't actually close on that house.
You can still sign from jail, can't you?
Right. I
gotta have
mean,
notaries.
maybe, but I guess New Western wasn't going to go through that, which is
Yep.
totally fine. And so we found a deal on market. And I mean, it was like a super like cosmetic thing, and we didn't even actually do the work. We hired a contractor from someone that we knew that had done like hundreds of houses, and honestly, he overcharged us, and he was somewhat timely, right? But we weren't learning the game of flipping of real estate. And so that's and really we only made $5,000, $7,000 on that deal. Like once we start to finish, it was like 6 months. So it was a long time and the market
Yeah.
dipped.
Could have
Then
flipped a lot of couches in that time.
Right. It's so true. And we were still flipping couches like here and there, but like if we had focused on like learning the game, I think the experience would have been more valuable than actually just like flipping couches at that point. But then we got into our second flip in a more desirable part of Nashville. And
Which you saw.
Yes.
That's right. That was your second flip.
That's the one. Editing team. If you know where I stored that clip, insert it here.
And shout out to Danny for the interior design tips.
Yeah,
That's right. My wife came through, walked the property. She's like, "You need to put this here and this here." I still don't know where any of this stuff goes.
and she was right. And she was right about all of it.
There we go. Testimonial from Eddie for my wife.
Right.
Yeah, it's good. Functional flipping.
Annie Osgood. She's awesome. Anyway, so did that. It was like a full gut, right? And we we hired a better contractor. We're on site every day, kind of getting the experience, taking videos, just learning the game. And we, made a little bit more money on that one. Not probably, $120,000 on that.
That is more than 7. I'm not super good at math, but it seems a lot better.
Yeah, so that took about like 4 months. And like I said, like
You got faster and better.
faster and better, but it wasn't really moving the needle like we wanted it to, right? And so like it was good like as far as like cash goes, and it was important for like cash goes, but like the long-term vision was the multifamily stuff, which Ethan was in y'all's mentorship and your mentorship. And so while we were kind of like had two things at once, right? One, which was the like money making side and flipping and contracting side. The other side was learning the multifamily game. And so I'll let Ethan.
This is what too many people skip, and this is why I wanted to start here. You did the couch flipping, you did the airport cleaning business, you guys were sanitizing. We didn't really go into that a ton on this, but for those who don't know, that Eddie started a company and these two both started working together on cleaning airports, sanitizing during COVID, which, by the way, sharp business idea.
Appreciate it.
Hey, you know what has demand right now? Exactly this. So what people skip, especially young, especially male, like the young hustlers in real estate think, I'm going to get in and I'm just going to buy deals and I'll instantly have cash flow and I can retire. And I've seen so many people get wiped out with this. It's a never ending run of you get cash flow, you spend it on fixing your building. When do you pay yourself? I don't know, because all of the money goes back into growing the business. You can be a multimillionaire in real estate and have absolutely no money and never get caught up if you don't go out and earn the darn money. It doesn't mean you have to be a wholesaler. It doesn't mean that you have to, but you have to do something to earn money. Because if you're using debt, too many people forget you do in fact have to pay for that later. And if you only do it out of refis, you owe more money. And it's a never ending cycle. Like, well, the property's worth more, so I'll just refinance it. It is such a stupid model. And you guys figured it out early. It's like, it doesn't matter what you do. You got to freaking work. And you
Right.
guys did that on multiple businesses, multiple projects. And you're like, okay, let's go figure out the active income. Let's get into the multifamily. So right now, reason I really wanted to host this podcast today, you guys are about to do one of my favorite magic tricks of all time. You're going to turn 11 units into 55 units. You guys are buying a 44, but you're not selling the 11. Talk to me about the 11 unit deal, the acquisition, and then we're going to talk about how you guys are going to turn this in 55 units with no money. It's going to be amazing.
No, you go on. You go on. I just talked.
Well, the 11 unit was just over a year ago. It was like 13 months ago when we bought it.
Yep.
Which back up before that was 9 months of Eddie cold called the seller. It was like right at 9 months before that, January.
We were both cold calling, and someone would have gotten a hold of this seller between one of us two with the amount. We cold called between us 8,000 people. 8,000 calls, probably 4,000 people. No, repeatedly.
You guys, that sounds like the hard way to do it, but it's the same way Caleb started too. It's like, hey, let's just go grind it out the old-fashioned way. Okay, so Eddie gets the seller on the line. You guys finally got it. At least got the conversation started. How does the deal come together?
Then it was just follow up after follow up after follow up. It wasn't the right time. He wasn't looking to sell, but we say this all the time. It's about bringing the seller into the market, the owner into the market when they're not actively talking to brokers and pushing that thing out for the top dollar. It's like, well, maybe you have this conversation, and he says, maybe it would make sense for me to sell. And he had some family stuff. So we waited some time and followed up and kept having the conversation, went and met him, got lunch, and just spent a lot of time building that relationship, which it was a long time, but it paid off with the rapport that we built to be able to structure the deal how we did.
Mhm.
And there was it was a roller coaster. I'll just
Roller coaster of
say that.
emotions.
We can save everybody the time on that. Basically got to the closing table on the 11 unit with what, $2,600 out of our pocket. So we found a local bank who took first position. They financed 45% of it. The seller carried the second 55%. And
Well, that's really good. So you guys got to push the leverage all the way to 90%.
no, 100.
Right, because math still applies. 45 plus 55 is in fact not 90. I just flew in from the Bahamas and we got in early in the morning, so
Totally
yeah.
understand.
Vacation mode.
How are Christian's numbers always so good? Well, if you just change a couple of digits. No, I'm kidding.
Right.
Oh, that's funny. That's embarrassing. I promise I could do math for a living. That's a thing that I do. You guys got 100% financing, and the bank allowed this.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
On the assumption that we were going to bring all the renovation costs.
Yeah.
Okay. So the only time I've ever got a bank to say yes to this was my second deal. It was a duplex, so much smaller than this. But same thing. I had to do renovation cost. I got 101% financing. Just the way the math came out, we got a little seller credit at the end, and so it came out to 101% finance.
Yeah.
So you got 100% financing, but you have to do the reno. Now, did this reno have to go into a reserve account held by the bank? Okay, so you guys did better than I did.
We got a strong word over here, Christian. We're only as good as our word.
Yes.
We're honest, man.
That is amazing. So most banks, if you don't know, most banks will say, yes, you can fund the reno, we'll fund the acquisition, or allow you to go to 100% loan to value, blended LTV. That's your first and your second combined. But you're going to give us all the money up front, and as you get invoices, we'll distribute it out so that we know you're not going to take all the money, not repair the building, and now we're stuck with Now, maybe it's because you guys only levered 45% with the bank. Their risk was low enough where they're like, who cares? We would love for you guys to fail and get this thing back at 45% LTV. That may be the dream, right? If we lend to these two kids and they screw it up, we make a ton of money. Let's go. But that's a great debt product. That is a fantastic debt product. So you got 100% leverage. Out of curiosity, interest rate on the seller finance portion.
5.25.
Interest only.
Better than market debt product. Significantly better than market debt product.
Well, yeah, our debt on the bank portion was 8.5%.
Interest only.
It was at the peak of
Wow.
rates.
Worse than market debt product. You combine the two for a nice blended debt product that works for your deal.
Right.
How did the rest of the money come in? So what was the rental cost and how did that money come in? Because you mentioned that you guys were out of pocket like 2.5 grand.
Yeah. So renovation, we planned for like probably like 220, ended up being $290,000 that we put like our own cash into the deal,
which we did not have
which
at the
yeah,
beginning.
we didn't. Yeah, good preface. Yes, we did not have that at the beginning, and it was only funded by Ethan cleaning the airports at nights, right? So like we would both be living at the apartments, but like we lived on site, right, in a cockroach infested apartment with no floors, and like yeah, we showered at the YMCA because bathroom. So, and then the YMCA sometimes didn't have hot water. So we would shower in 3-degree weather in cold water.
Slept on air mattress.
Slept on air mat. Yeah, slept on air. You know, the whole 9 yards. You know,
Oh,
it
yeah.
was
No,
all
I did that with a 38 plex. I didn't live there full time, but we would like a week at a time air mattresses in one of the renovated units while we were remediating cockroaches. I mean, literally the same
Yeah.
thing. It's like, okay, we wake up, we go outside. Hopefully no one kills us. Like that was rough times.
right.
Oh, I
But
love
no,
it.
it was just like while like we were doing that, and you know, like we would be yeah doing the construction, and we had a team behind us. Then at night, would go to the airport and clean floors.
And Eddie was grinding in the construction field.
Of course, yeah. So like it was like kind of the yin and the yang, right? Because we needed to make our debt service and we needed to finish these renovations, but we didn't have the money to do that. And so the business that we had, the floor cleaning business, gave us that cash flow to be able to service that debt and also those construction costs at the end. Now, we didn't service all of that from the Music City Sanitizing, our cleaning business. That being said, we did service like a good amount, like
Mhm.
for debt and for construction. So
And wholesale too.
and yeah, we had some wholesales as well.
So you guys had to come in and earn it. Did you guys have any partners on any of it, or did you guys just earn your way through the whole thing?
Only us.
That is amazing, and so many people can't say that. Like
Yeah.
the shortcut, which I've taken many times, is okay. Let's get people in, and let's put out a buyout option. So when I refinance, we'll buy you out the property. Had you done that play instead of earning through, you would not have the money for the next play that you guys are doing right now. So
Right.
this is happening right now. This is active. It has not closed, but you guys are right at the threshold of finishing this project. So you go through the project. You're updating the 11 unit. You finish out the project. What did you guys hope to get for an appraisal?
Hoped at the beginning of the project, what would you say, like probably like 1.4, 1.5 is what, like, is that what you had as
Yeah.
well?
Okay. And what did you guys buy it for again? Purchase price?
690, 660, and plus a $30,000 renovation note for the roof. So 690 altogether is the debt that we had on it.
Okay. So buying at 690, 100% financed, hoping to get $1.5 million valuation. So hoping to do a little bit better than a double. That's fantastic. Your appraisal's in. What did appraisal come in at the end of your project?
1.7.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Again, not super good at math, but that sounds like a little more than $1 million than you originally purchased the property for.
Yes. Yes. It was a heavy value, but yeah, like it
Through
was
the
nice.
entire project, how much did you end up investing into the deal? Full project from beginning to end, how much additional money did you put in for renovation?
290. That is
That's it.
everything.
That's the
That
whole
is
thing.
that is everything. Now aside from debt service,
Mhm.
debt service was probably I don't know, like all in like probably another like 50 or so.
But all in probably right at $1 million, just under $1 million.
Yeah, just under $1 million all
Okay.
in.
So overall in equity, you really only made a measly $700,000
That's right.
in one shot. The amount. So first of all, I want people to hear what you guys actually did. So you guys slept basically on the floor in cockroach land, showering at the YMCA, working your butt off in construction and cleaning and flipping to make it through this to not have any partners. the payoff being $700,000 does not suck. And then you also were doing these jobs, so you guys are earning money. You guys made a lot of money on this. Now you have the appraisal in. What's the game plan from here? Do you sell the building, or I already said you're not selling it? Refi. What are they likely going to have you take out of the building as a cash out refinance?
Our new loan's gonna be 1.28. And right.
Yes, 1.28.
Yeah.
That, first of all, phenomenal. So you're about to get a boatload of cash. You have no partners. There's no one to buy out. So this money transfers from that to your bank account.
For about 2 weeks.
Yeah, we'll get a check on Monday. We're closing. We actually literally just scheduled that like 30 minutes ago for $590,000.
By the way, you're borrowing the money because it's a refinance. So on a refinance, your tax on that is exactly, I'm calculating since I messed up the math earlier, it's 0%. Not bad. I got that one right. You guys thought I was going to say 10 based on my last mental math.
Right.
So you guys are borrowing. There's no tax. Your property's doing it. What does the cash flow look like after refinance on the original 11?
Yeah, Andy.
Like $2,000.
Okay.
Like
So
2 or
you bought a
3.
property. It's cash flowing. It's cash flowing in excess of what you would need to pull out all of this money on this property. You're then using that money to buy a 44 unit property. Tell us about the 44. How did you guys find this deal?
More cold calls. Just thousands and thousands more cold calls. Just while we were wrapping up Cookville, in between the downtime after we had finished, just banging out the calls, and talked to this guy like a year and a half ago. Wasn't the right time. Followed up with him, stayed in touch, just built that relationship. And finally one day he was like, you know what, I think now's the time. And
There we go.
literally the only people who were talking to him.
What was the
And so
purchase price? Or is?
we are under contract to purchase that for 2.4 for 44 units.
Okay, awesome price per unit. Like awesome price per unit. What do you think it's actually worth day one?
Around 3 million.
Okay. When you're
Anything's
done with your project on it, what do you think it's worth?
we've projected around 5.
That's going to feel better than this cash out refi. I can tell you that right now. But you get to keep the 11 and you get to keep the 44.
That's right.
Income stays up for the rest of your natural life unless you decide to 1031 these. And you're going to be doing probably the same play, what, 2 years from now?
That's the plan. Now the thing on the 44 is that the amount that we're pulling out of the 11 unit is the exact amount for the down payment, which we're borrowing purchase and renovation funds on that, also a seller second to help with the leverage, but is exactly enough for the down payment. But with the renovations, with us having the front money and have some liquidity, have some working capital and reserve, we are bringing on a partner for that. So that's not 100% us.
Gotcha. Okay. So on the 44, what is the partner bringing in?
He's bringing in 300. We don't have the structure solidified, but he'll get 5 to 10% of the deal.
Well, that's not bad.
No, it's great.
You're going to get a lion's share of a much, much, much bigger property, and you keep the 11. Now, is the 11 being rolled into this, or do you guys keep the 11 by yourselves?
No, that's just
By
us.
ourselves.
This is like a masterclass on correct deal structure. You earned as much as you could through the process to retain the maximum amount of equity, and you're bringing on a partner for a little bit of equity to close out a deal. Now, long term, is this a partnership that you guys intend to keep forever, or at refi, do you guys intend to buy them out? And
He's a mentor to us. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know what the partnership like structure will look like in future deals. But that being said, like he's been a mentor to us. He's been fantastic, and we really value his advice.
Yeah, super close relationship. So it's
that's awesome.
we haven't finished structuring what that deal is going to look like at the end of this deal and all of that, but I mean, he'll be with us for our whole careers probably.
Well, that's awesome. How did you find this mentor?
Man, it was a family friend. It was like as soon as we quit our jobs, we both went to our parents and we were like, "Hey, who do you know who's in real estate?" And they were like, "Well, nobody, but we do know this." And so we just started. You call them up, and we're like, "Hey, my parents said you were a little bit in real estate. Like, you want to get coffee?" He's like, "Yeah, swing by the office." And so we just met with him and just clicked immediately. And he's got the experience, been through a lot more than we have. And so he's been very, very crucial in our success.
I love to hear like, that's the real model here is you find people who've done the thing you want to do and you learn from them. That's the whole point of this podcast. It's called the Owner Meeting Podcast. Meet with people who've done really unique, awesome stuff in their business. Try to skip as many of the mistakes as they made along the way and take all of the best and roll it in. There's a man named Gary Mann in Moses Lake, and he was that for us when we started. He's like, here's where we screwed up. We built this huge portfolio, hundreds of units over 50 years. I'm like, awesome. With this knowledge, I shall do it in 2. Being
Right.
able to take that and accelerate and make less mistakes is one of the most valuable things ever. Highly recommend figuring out your deal structure moving forward, getting a plan on that. As someone who's been screwed on more partnerships than I would like to, make sure you nail the crap out of that structure. But this sounds like the type of person that you want to be with for a long period of time. Like the person, there's obviously a very high level of trust here. You back that with a fantastic legal structure, and you potentially have this amazing, unbreakable partnership where you're like, we like each other, we trust each other, and we have paperwork so that we don't have to do any of that if we don't want to.
True.
Great place to be. Great place to be. Man, okay, so you guys are going to make a ton of money on that, likely. I mean, that sounds like a ton of money. What other projects have you guys been working on in the meantime? So you have the 11. You're working
Side
on
note, side note, just want to say, like, we are putting $1.55 million into that 44 unit. So it's gonna be an extensive construction cost, and I mean, like, we passed our GC commercial and residential license exam, and we're working on the paperwork to get it. So we'll have it when we close on this property by November 28th. We're closing on it. We'll have it around then, our GC license. So we're really vertically integrating as far as like we do property management, we do the construction, and then the investing is kind of like on top.
And we'll be moving to Huntsville as well. We'll be living in one of the units, overseeing the construction, doing the leasing, doing all that, and get that project off the ground and running smoothly.
there's not enough people who do the business the hard way, which is the right way to do it, which is just get out there and build the freaking business while you're young. Put it in
That's it.
now.
We think so. We think so.
I the way that I built my business was nonstop work for too many years. I did it the slow way for 17 years. But
Yeah.
most of my success came in the last 5. And in those 5 years, all I did was work. I just got back from that vacation I mentioned. That was really cool being able to take my 1-year-old, be able to spend as much money as I possibly want to in the Bahamas, and just be able to I took 3 full days off. I just turned off my phone, and I was like, "You know what? Unless a building burns down, you know what? Actually, don't call me if a building burns down. I will find out when I get back. It will be equally crispy in 3 days." I
Yeah.
came in, I watched baseball games, which I've never seen a baseball game in my life. I came in, I watched the Dodgers get slapped around by the Blue Jays several times. I ate whatever I wanted. And then now I'm back to grinding, and we're going to keep stacking and building. But when you come in and you do all this stuff early, the setup, it's just crazy. I'm sitting here at 33 and I'm like, okay, for the most part, I can do what I want when I want, and I choose to work and continue scaling. But it is worth the time. The way that you guys are building this, you're not going to have a crippling debt load. You're not going to get into your late 30s and just be spending all of your time hustling to pay down the debt. You're managing the debt and you're paying it down, and you're working the businesses so you have a foundation where you can scale off of. So vertical integration, you nailed it. This is it's a masterclass on how people should do business. I really think that this is the way to do it.
Yeah. And let me interject right there. Something that Eddie and I we talk about almost every single day is like knowing the difference for us between our active and our not passive, but the active income from the business versus the income that you're going to get from the real estate. And I say this because our biggest thing is speed moving through these projects. And the 11 unit, I mean, we did it in 13 months, which if we did it now, it'd be a lot quicker. But for where we were at, that was a great pace. This 44 unit is all about how quickly can we get through that and recycle that cash, because we're putting every penny we have in. So we need that back out to keep growing the business, right? And that comes down, the speed of moving through these projects comes down to how much of a risk we can take in terms of, are we going to do one unit at a time, or 2 units at a time on these unit turns, and it's going to take us 4 or 5 years to reposition this property. What we're going to do is be able to go in and empty out entire buildings, take bigger risks, and move at a quicker timeline because we have this active income from the business to service our debt and allows us to take bigger risks and move quicker through these projects.
Like, yes. I mean, I just want to add to that real quick that we understand we are taking massive risk as far as like we are trying to get debt product with as much leverage as we can. And that is where we receive our paydays are from refinances. So like in order to steady that like boat that's rocking like this with the investment with the high leverage, we have to have something that's actively servicing that debt. Because there will be one time or maybe multiple times in which like it's gonna be like we wouldn't be able to service that debt. And it happened in Cookville with just like the reserve funds that we have. So we have to have that active income coming in every month to service and de-risk us.
How do you, especially at a young age, how do you bet on yourself? How do you go, hey, this is a question that I actually got this from from like a 13-year-old girl at an event, and I was like, this is the best question I've been asked in a long time. When you get started, how do you know it's going to work?
Well, that's the beautiful thing. You don't, right? And I mean, what I would say, everybody needs an Eddie on their team.
Everyone needs an Ethan as well.
If you don't have an Eddie on your team, you got to be an Eddie, you know?
Everyone needs an Ethan as well. It's a yin and a yang type of relationship that we have.
And where I'm going with that is like Hormozy always says, like the way to conquer doubt and fear is with action. And this guy right here is the most executing action-based person that I know. And like if there is anything to do, he's doing it right then and there. And so when it comes to projects, it's decision. And you're constantly moving and driving the project forward.
Hey, but I'll add to that. There are plenty of times that me personally, I am wrong, right? And so this guy puts me back in check, which is like, hey, have you thought about it this way, right? So it's kind of like we'll make quick decisions, right? And then like, but if we don't agree on something, and Ethan's very good at being like more, what's the word? Like giving different ideas on the situation, right? Because I'll be like, okay, let's go. Like we gotta go. We gotta get this done. And he kind of like reels me back, which is like, okay, like have you thought about it this way? Have you thought about it that way? And so like it's kind of like a yin and yang. It honestly is like it's a perfect match. Like it is a perfect match because he like kind of reels me back and it's like, okay, like this is maybe a better option.
Thanks, sweetie.
It's so fun to see highly effective partnerships. I've had multiple partnerships fall apart. I've also had partnerships that are absolutely epic, where I feel like Caleb and I have a partnership that's very similar to you guys, where Caleb is just like on the gas, like he's 22 and he's like, we got to go. And I'm like, I mean, how many buildings can we buy before we just like implode PM? Like we have to, we literally, you will destroy our company if we buy another great deal. Because how the heck are we gonna? Our staff can't handle it. There's no possible way. So having it's that yin and yang where it's like, hey, this is like it is a fantastic partnership when you have two different personalities, especially when you have someone with perspective and vision, and you have someone who is like, hey, we got to move forward. I love those personality types. I think it's oversimplified when people talk about like, oh, you have a visionary and an integrator, because usually when I see that comparison, you usually have an asshole and someone who's doing all the work. Is like what I see 80% of the time. People are like, oh, yes, I want to be the visionary. I'm going to tell you what I want done, and then you need to make it happen, which is a horrible partnership. What you guys have is the real deal. Both of you guys are pulling 100%.
You hit it right on the mark, Christian. You know, I couldn't have said that better myself. Visionary, integrator, it's not like one or the, you're not one or the other. Like you have different like attributes as a visionary, different attributes as an integrator, right? Like you can be maybe more of an integrator, more of a visionary, but you are not just a visionary. And like, yes, we know plenty of partnerships where like the integrator, right, is really doing all the work, right? And it makes them feel really terrible to have the visionary just sit back and just like say, hey, like this is what we want, and not see the actual work. right? And so you hit it right on the like nail on the head.
I've learned it too much. I feel like people take too much book knowledge sometimes, and they try to like simplify business to a point where they're like, oh, this is just how it is. You're this or this. So it's like, no. In my partnership with Cody, I was the integrator, which really meant I was doing a lot of the business and the work. He had a lot of great vision. Like a lot of his stuff was built, like our company was built off of ideas that he had, fantastic freaking ideas. I'm like 9 years older than him, and he was what, 26 units ahead of me,
Right.
and he'd never had a job. I'm like, okay, well, obviously what you're doing is working better. So a lot of the vision came there. Caleb and I, like, I've become more of the directional person. Like everyone has a balance of both things, and I love the personality types that you two bring to your partnerships, and you two are just generally fun to hang out with, which is a good sign for a partnership. You guys know how to have fun at the same time, which is
Appreciate it. It goes right back at you.
I appreciate that a lot. I'm a massive fan of these two guys. So there's the reason they're a recurring theme on this podcast. I feel like it's like once or twice a year. It's like,
Right.
Ethan, you did something cool. Hop on the pod. What you guys do is it's just the right way to do business, and you guys get to have fun doing it. And I look back very fondly at the air mattress sleeping with the roaches days. I'm like, we could not be here without those.
Right.
And that makes you so much more resilient. Which leads to my last question, or at least my next question. Maybe we'll have another one. Thus far, most expensive mistake you guys have made. Could be timeline, could be money, could be the relationship. Doesn't matter. But most expensive that you guys have made.
I know what you're thinking, but like, if I'm being honest, like our first deal that we did, we bought an apartment complex in Huntsville, and it does well. We execute on the game plan, right? It could have been done better. And the reason is we should have improved it a lot more, because right now we're having to deal with the headaches that we wouldn't have had to been dealing with if we had done it the right way. Improved the property drastically more, even over improved, I would argue would have been better for us, because in order to build a foundation of a business, right, and not having to go back and have those headaches constantly over your head, you have to do it right the first time and do it well. So
What's an example of one of the things that you've had to come back and do that cost money because you didn't improve it enough the first time around?
Like, for example, like cast iron pipes, right? Like if we had done it right, like we probably would have switched to PVC.
Mm-hmm.
Or if we had, let's say, not put lipstick on, I'm not saying it's, we have our 24 units of pig, but if we had, redone the plumbing, redone the electrical, and, put
just overall better
new floors in, cosmetic job as well, I mean, right? We wouldn't.
Yeah, we underspent and put some Band-Aids on that we shouldn't have. We didn't know. So it is what it is at this point. And we fixed it since then. Like we've gone back and done a better job, but we still suffer the consequences of that 2.5 years later. Whereas Cookville, we did it right. We went to the studs. We did everything right. Over improved. We have fantastic tenants. We drove the value of that property beyond what we thought was possible, beyond what honestly that market should tolerate.
It is, yes.
And now we get like a phone call or two a month on that. And it's just like the difference. Our time is worth so much more. It's better spent on this next deal, on the construction, the leasing of this, and looking for the next one after that, not trying to fix what we messed up on in the past.
Yes, absolutely. And it's like, to build a strong foundation for a business, you don't want to have to go back, because like our time is going to become even more valuable in a year, and more valuable in 2 years, 5 years. So always having to go back and right our mistakes, right, is going to turn to be more and more costly.
Of the stupid taxes to pay early, that's a great one.
Yeah.
That is a fantastic one, because you overcame it, you moved on, you've improved, and too many people don't learn that thing. And so there's 7 buildings in, they still have cast iron pipes. They have what year built was that building?
60s. Was it 60s?
Which one? The Huntsville one?
I think.
Yeah, 64.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you right now, any metal pipes you have in that building are beyond dead. If you ever cut into those, the king of buying buildings with cast iron pipes is Cody Davis. If
Christian,
you've seen the number of posts he has monthly, where did this leak come from? I've never seen someone get more leaks. It's like, have you upgraded to PEX? Well, not yet. It is one of the most frustrating things. And you know what one of the most damaging things to your building is? Water.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
those, you buy an old building, get the old pipes out of it. Your PVC will outlive you and your children. Like, switch to PEX, plumbing, just get it out of there. You will not regret it. You will not regret it. Your resale value, your insurance value, everything will be just better. Electric's the other big one. Like, if you have some old electric in a building, it can be an absolute bear of a project to get done. But if you have the new panels, the new outlets, or the new breakers, it's cheap to fix things that you almost never have to fix because it's all new. It is such a better way to do real estate. What I love about your project, because you guys nailed this, and this is the most important thing for the timeline of your project. You start with the reno budget, you start with your reserve. It's people raising, hey, we did just enough cash to close and we brought in no other money and we're going to try to do this out of cash flow.
No,
you're going to have a lot of shitty pipes. You're going to have a lot of stuff. We're going to get to this in a few months after it breaks. It's like, no. Horrible. You guys are doing your projects correctly. You're like, hey, you guys could have closed this 44 unit, right? And then just try to bleed it along and earn your way through. Instead, you're bringing in a little bit of outside capital. Not a lot. You're bringing in a little bit of outside capital and you're getting the money started. You're getting your project rolling. The time you're going to save doing that is going to allow you to do 5 or 6 more deals. And you're going to do those deals right. And all of a sudden your velocity has gone from like, hey, we get stuck for a year on a project and then have to go back to it. To like, oh yeah, we can knock out one of these every, like it becomes a 6-month thing and then 4-month thing. We're doing a renovation right now on a 10-plex. This would have taken me when I started probably a year. We're finishing it in 2 weeks.
That's great.
I'm like, how was I ever that bad? Or I was like, what do we do? You hire 2 construction teams. Someone works on the inside, someone works on the outside. You get big teams and you pay them to do it right. It's like, we took a year to do this. A year when we started.
But that's the education. Like, that's what you guys had to go through. That's what we had to go through to fully understand and be able to execute how we do now.
So if you're listening to this and you haven't done your first multifamily deal yet, be the one freaking person who actually hears this and goes, wait a second, your reno cost is higher than you think. You need to start with it. No, starting by trying to top deck every dollar out of cash flow is not the way to buy a deal. Start with a fully funded deal. Start with the money you need for your project. It will save you so much time that you can just do 10 more deals and make a ton more money. The time piece of real estate is the most valuable. That's what we're all trying to buy back with financial freedom anyway, right? And so if you're building your business, anything that slows you down is costing you a boatload of money. Just start the project. And if you're looking at your deal being like, wait a second, it doesn't work. If we raise the reno cost, then you don't have a deal yet. And that's okay. Don't close it. There's other deals out there. I know I might not be willing to make 6,000 to 8,000 calls to find the deal. So you guys have a different strategy than I have on that front. But it's worked. And you guys know that if you don't do this deal, you'll find another deal.
Right. For us, honestly, we have to find the best deals. This is our full-time thing. And acquisitions, yields a much higher return on our time than something like doing the construction ourselves or what have you. It's good to get that experience, though. I'll say that. It's very good, very important to get that experience.
And just, go ahead, finish.
I was gonna go into cash flow versus appreciation, but go on.
I was just gonna go back to what we said, just in case anybody is thinking about the renovation budgets and all that, just for a reference point, and it's different in every building and every market. We spent about $7,000 to $9,000 per unit on our first project. On the Cookville, on our 11 unit, the most recent one, we spent about $27 a door on that. And we'll do the same thing in Huntsville again. So just reference points.
It's expensive. It can get really expensive, right? So make sure that, but going back to cash flow versus appreciation, possibly getting the cash flow to fix the like your units or anyone's units, like an investor's units, right? Like for us, and it's different for everyone, right? Like we are appreciation investors, right? We have the cash flow from a business and we get cash flow from the cleaning company. Real estate, we do not look for cash flow. It has to cash flow day one, right? But we get our major checks in the refinance, right? And so and I would argue that you can make more cash flow from a business rather than real estate.
This is something that people need to hear. I had Brian Lubin on the podcast talking about this early in the year.
I don't want to speak for everyone, right? This is just our experience, which is that like if we're gonna invest for cash flow, we are gonna invest in a business. If we are gonna invest for appreciation, we are going to invest in real estate, which is like, yeah, that's the main driver for our property.
And in the long run, the future cash, especially the future cash flow, the cash flow that you build in real estate will buy you back time.
Right.
The only problem with a business is the only businesses that build you actual time freedom are large businesses. Small business will cost you time for money, period. Mid-sized business, you get some efficiencies, but still lots of time for money. You really have to have a very large business to get time freedom. The one massive advantage of real estate is if you continue to stack real estate, especially early in the career, the cash flow later will be the most passive cash flow you can possibly get. The path to time freedom through cash flow is still rentals, but you're going to build a ton of equity and a ton of net worth in real estate. There is nothing that builds more cash flow than a business. And you know why? Because it takes more input.
Yes. Yeah. Thanks.
Your
Takes a lot.
job makes you more liquidity. That is a normal thing. If you think you're joining and you're not going to work, unfortunately, I'll tell you right now, multifamily strategy is not the group for you. Working with Ethan and Eddie is not the group for you either. We outwork everyone. Honestly, we're more Dave Ramsey people than we are. If you really boil it down, even though we use debt, nothing replaces earning money and paying down your debts. Like we use debts, we use leverage, absolutely. But at the end of the day, you work, you make money, you invest the money, you put it back into your business. Nothing beats good old-fashioned hard work. I think everyone's pretty much onto this, but if you're listening and you don't know this, just passively investing in real estate or like doing zero down deals, all of the people who were advertising that of like, oh, you could just do nothing. Like 3 of them still have any real estate. They're all gone. If you're like, oh, I remember this influencer. Where did they go? They're gone. Even I won't name drop him. I won't be a dick, but the couch flipping guy.
Yeah.
Real estate anymore.
Yeah.
All of his content is, oh yeah, no, cash flowing real estate, that's not a thing. It's a myth. Like it's not a myth. There's cash flow in real estate, but it does not compete with the earned income that you can make. I have a property management company that is stable. I do third party on top of managing our own stuff. That has fantastic cash flow. That is a business that we have built over years and years and years, and it supports the rentals. It makes the rentals make more. Today, I could retire on my rentals. I would be just fine. It was 5 years of absolute grind after 17 years of going to college and getting a first, second, third, fourth, fifth job. I'm deeper in my career than I want to be at 33 years old, but I'm finally I'm just now hitting the point. I'm just now hitting the point where it's an option to retire off the rentals. You could do it in a business in a couple years. You wouldn't retire, but you can get the cash flow from your business like that. And you guys have figured that out. The key to cash flow is business. The key to long-term time freedom and wealth is real estate. And you guys are doing a great job of doing both. What's the next move for you guys? So you guys are doing the 44. We know that's like the next move. What is the next move in your business that you are using alongside real estate? What are the next moves for you guys?
Cleaning company specifically, or what? Or like just the overall?
You guys are doing some of your own PM. You guys are doing some of your own construction licenses. You guys have a cleaning company. I'll let you interpret that question. What are you guys doing to scale the business side of your business?
Yeah. I mean, like, as far as like, so vertically integrating, that's a big thing. We're not planning on doing third-party PM stuff just because it does require a lot more of our time, and the cleaning business requires a little bit less time, and there's a little bit higher profit margin on it, on
Mhm.
top of it being only at nights versus in the day. So in the days, we're real estate investors, in the nights, we can clean. Sometimes it does, like, commingle a little bit. We try to keep it, like, real estate during the day, and then add that active income at night. So right now, we clean 26 floors in the airport, regularly. And the airport is actually doubling in size that they announced 2 days ago. So, um, yeah, but I mean, we're making like decent active income from that business and steady active income, which is really nice. So yeah, just continue to sell like grease clean. We do hood cleaning, we do floor cleaning for that business, and so selling that in the airport, and that's where like a good amount of money is being invested in the Nashville airport. And so just go where the money is.
Yeah. I love how that business just came up. You're like, "Yeah, this is a good idea." We launched it. You got the contract.
Right.
Have you do you have any idea what that business is worth today?
Like depends on like EBITDAs, right? Like a X 3X EBITDA, probably like, I don't know, 300, 250, 300. So not
Uh,
like a ton, but
yeah.
something.
It's an absolutely awesome supplemental business.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's good. It's decent. It just helps with like good cash flow. Like revenue that we bring in is 10 grand a month, like consistently right now, with 8 more stores being added. So it'll be like 12 or something that consistently brings in.
It's awesome. It's great
Yeah.
business. Great business. Super cool. All right, guys. This was one of my favorite episodes. I love the partnership. I love what you guys have done. You guys are such a good example of what a successful partnership looks like. I've had a lot of people on the podcast who are like, my first, second, and third partner all burned me. I'm like, you guys probably just didn't get along. If everyone burns you at some point, maybe you're not the good partner.
Right.
You guys have started. You guys like grew up together, right?
It wasn't built like our partnership wasn't built on business. It was built on friendship, which is a little bit different.
Yeah,
But
We've known each other for 23 years.
that's crazy.
oh, I argue 24. He says 23. So I mean, whoever. But either way, yeah.
You guys have known each other for a long time. You've maintained and grown a friendship through business, which I have actually found is less common than common. I feel like more friendships have fallen apart over business than got closer. So what you guys have done is I think it's relatively unique. It's really fun and encouraging to see. Massive fan of how you guys run business, of everything you guys do. Love the work ethic. And it's exciting to me that you guys are hitting the point in the business where you're learning. You guys are really absorbing. This is the value of time and why we need to create efficiencies in the business now. You know how to put in the grind. You've put in a lot of the hours. Now you're looking at how do we add systems and people to scale the business without staying in the cockroach unit, without hand digging 100 foot or yard, whatever
Right.
baseball field you guys dug up to put your building in.
Right. Right.
When you get past those things and you get the time to really scale the business, it's fun watching you guys go from 11 to 55 on that one project. And it'll be equally fun next year or the year after when you guys are back on the pod being like, we refinanced to 55. We're buying a 280 unit building. Like, I'm just so excited to watch it scale. It's really fun. Okay. Final question. What is the end goal for real estate for you two? You guys have a partnership together. What are you guys trying to accomplish?
Be the best. That's it. We don't have like hard numbers that target can move any day. We just want to put in the work, be the best that there is, and I mean, buy as much as we can.
Like if there were like a business model that like not business model, but like a business that we would look up to. It's like a Mill Creek Residential. I don't know if you've heard of them. They're the second largest in the nation. Right now, they're raising like outside capital, but they have like stuff like downtown. They have stuff here next to like our condo. They have like a ton of units, and they're vertically integrated. They have a construction group. They have a PM group. They have like their investing side. So like something that is like that's the goal, honestly, to be the best. We don't want to be second. We want to be first.
And we want to own everything, like a Logan Rankin. He's a beast. Somebody tag him.
Yeah, and tell him to give us a call.
There we go. No, that's okay. It'll be very interesting to watch the journey. It'll be very interesting to watch the journey. One
Right.
piece of advice that I have gotten from a bunch of people on the podcast, especially people who are much farther ahead in their business than I am. The more specific the goal is, the faster you hit it. And most of the guys who actually became the best actually didn't have a goal to become the best. They always had a next goal. They're like, hey, we are going to get here. And when we are here, we're going to evaluate what we're going to do, and we're going to get here. And what you end up with is you end up becoming the best. So one of the best pieces of advice I've got on the podcast. So maybe it works for you guys. Maybe you guys just go like, hey, we're going to become the best, and you do. But to the extent that you define the best will likely serve you well in getting there. But we all have a habit of getting, I remember there was a point in my career, I'm like, I want to be the best at creative finance. And then I'm like, what does the best even mean? Like best to me is a little ambiguous. Is it the largest? Is it the most units? Is it we make the most money? Is it we employ the most people gainfully? There's a lot of different angles to being the best. But to the extent that you can define that, I'm excited to watch you guys hit that. You guys are making all the right moves there. You're following all the right people. I love the Hormozy quote. That guy is just chock full of great business advice. So I think you guys are making great decisions. Fun to watch the adventure. Let us know when you close. Where do people follow the story for you two?
Brio GRP.
There we go.
Brio Group, that's us.
BRIO GRP.
Brio GRP. There we go. Check them out. There'll be a link below in the show notes as well. We'll see you guys all in the next episode.
Thanks for having us, Christian.
Thanks, Christian.
Absolutely, always.